What happens when the guest is the host and the host is the guest? They pick all the topics, I just talk about it. You got 10 minutes.
Turn it up.
All right, cool.
Rolling.
Start the timer now. All right, what do you want to talk about?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so the first topic that I'm going to talk about is artist blackout. So, someone who is a musician, how do you feel about cutting off musicians after they have been accused or even proven of doing something horrible?
Ridiculous.
Example, R. Kelly.
Oh, not ridiculous.
Or Chris
Bad.
Brown, all of those things. Like,
Okay.
do you believe in the practice of, I'm no longer supporting their work?
It's so tough. I think it's a two-part thing. It's hard because R. Kelly wrote a lot of stuff.
He did.
And you don't realize it because other day I was singing like some other artist stuff, and I was like, I looked it up on Google, and I was like, that's R. Kelly. He wrote that. And so it was like I want to my conscience tells me, hey, you know what? Don't
It's
do that.
done,
Yeah,
yeah.
no more of that. But that's I haven't stopped listening to Michael Jackson, but I can't listen to R. Kelly. Like Fiesta came on the other day. It's like Fiesta, and I was like, oh, I can't listen to it. I was like,
I know.
nah. Cause no, some songs though he has that one song that's he has a song that says I just want your little body yaddy yaddy. And every time I hear it, I'm like, he's talking about a 12-year-old. I can't do it. I can't listen anymore.
I've caught myself more with Chris Brown, like, because he's still making new songs. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah, true.
when I put on my radio, no one listens to the radio, but like when I put it on my streaming service, and I've caught myself doing it with Chris Brown, and I'll be like, oh, I like this song, and then I'll look and I'll be like, Chris Brown, I'll be like, no, you're a woman beater. Next.
Yeah.
But so many people, specifically with I think the R. Kelly, especially since the documentary came out, people are like, yep, blackout. A lot of people are. But Chris Brown, it's like everyone just seemed to forgot or forgave that he beats women. Like, I don't understand why that's not a bigger deal.
And you know what it is? It's because the same thing with to a lesser degree, because I have my issues with Kanye. But that's to a lesser degree. He didn't do break any laws or hurt anybody.
Don't like him that
it's just
much,
So to me, it's hard for me to separate to a certain extent. If it depends on what you did, but I have to separate. I can't separate it from like your art.
Right? No, I can't either.
Because it's to me it's personal. Even though a lot of them they don't write their own stuff in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
But it still feels like I'm like supporting you.
They're still making money off.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. I'm supporting you, and can't do that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Next topic. Honesty in friendships.
Honesty.
Where do you draw the line to maintain a friendship? For example, let's say, I'll give you two examples, okay? So let's say you have an actor friend. Mm-hmm. You're very, very close with them, and you love them as a person. They're here for you. You'd invite them to your wedding, but you think they suck, right? Like, you think they're really bad. Do you just keep up this guise of, it's the hustle, let's do it, like you're in this game together, or do you go like, I need to be real with you, you're terrible?
When they try to get you to do like collaborative projects.
Yeah, collaborative projects, or like you go to casting director meets with them, like all of these things. Like how long do you ride with someone before you can like actually call them out on their be brutally honest? And are you going to sacrifice a friendship?
Well, I don't have any actor friends that suck, so no.
I do.
No, honestly, no. I've had it come up like where it's like I really like the person and I'm cool with them. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of ways you can do it because it's kind of hard. I avoid it like altogether.
Oh, the first step is always avoiding. First step is always avoiding.
We already got that casting. Don't worry, man. We'll get you on the next one. All right? I don't know. I try to think.
Or it could be another scenario. Like,
music has been the one that I've seen it pop up in more, like going to people's shows. It's a lot of artists, like especially rappers, that I liked them as a person,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like when I see them perform, I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you love to do anything else?
Yeah, we got other hobbies.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Who told you this was good? Your mama? Your dad? Your sister?
They're in the audience.
Your brother?
Yeah, but no, actors all the time. I'm gonna say one of them that hopefully he ain't gonna see this. But what you call it? It's one actor that I think he's cool,
Yeah.
but he is every scene he's in is really horrendous. It's like he has a monotone, no emotion.
I know 50 of those. Yeah.
Did you tell him?
Or a friend that just like you need to be brutally honest about other things. You know what
Anything.
I mean? Like,
I actually appreciate honesty, so I try to be honest with people most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate like brutal honesty. People
Yeah.
like apologize after giving me is somebody knocking on the door.
I don't know. You're not invited.
When people give me a feedback, I like brutal feedback.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. You know?
I agree. I can take it. I dish it out.
Oh, I know you could. You
Yeah.
could definitely tell me. Hey, look, don't do it.
It goes both
That's
ways,
bad.
in my opinion.
It's all
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Not that, but
It's even worse because it's like if it's like something that you all put together and stuff like that, it's that one part you can be like, oh, and you want you want to skip over every single time.
or my favorite is the actors who are like, yep, I wrote it, I'm starring in it, I'm directing in it, and I'm producing it. Like I think that this whole phenomena of create your own work is amazing, and you should. But I think that so many people have forgotten that it still takes a village. You know, like you don't have to, and most of the time you aren't good at all of those
expertise
things.
is undervalued. You know what I mean? I'm like, if that's what you do,
bring somebody on to like take one of those hats off of you, you know?
Yeah.
So that way that, you know, you don't have to have that friend who goes to see your project that was your one-man show from every aspect and is terrible.
Yeah, it's like
So often.
you try to be like Eddie Murphy and have like your 5 characters.
Yeah, I can.
I might actually do that just to.
I will tell you.
This is
be like,
horrible.
keep this, leave that.
Horrible.
Leave that.
I'll have like 30 seconds of footage. That's okay.
My God. Oh my God.
It is important to like know what you're good at.
Yes,
Because
it's
a lot
so
of people
important.
don't. I know I'm good at like 3 things, and those are my things.
No, but for real, exactly. Like you should know that. Like I know what I'm good at, and I think if you can't be honest with yourself, it's harder for you to be honest with other people.
True.
And it's harder for you to receive honesty from other people.
That's definitely true.
I'm a supporter of it, but I also am a supporter of it. I will say there's one friend in my life who I can't be brutally honest with. Because if I told her everything I actually thought, we would not be friends anymore.
Oh, wow.
But there's other redeeming qualities about her
that make up for it,
that make me value her in my life.
Yeah.
But it's always with a grain of salt at times being around her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Next.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm like, we're going to start saying names if we don't change the subject.
Yeah, the whole time. Check it out. The whole time I was like, don't say the name. How do I say something other than the name?
Will she watch this?
I was
Okay.
like, pronouns.
Next subject. Next subject is gentrification, specifically the gentrifiers, right? So, so many of these gentrifiers, I live uptown, so moving uptown is kind of specifically what I'm talking about. But what is their responsibility as the gentrifier? And I'm talking under 35, right? Under 35 gentrifiers. And how do you think that people who are also under 35 but maybe have grown up in those communities feel about other young people who are gentrifying their neighborhood?
Oh, they hate them. But I mean, I know that much. But honestly, I think that the biggest reason why people have a problem with it is because that money's not going back into the community.
Yes.
Now, if it was, I think that the best thing. This is actually something that I actually care a lot about.
Yeah.
If it was, because I'm all for small businesses, I'm like really
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
anti-huge corporation. Not anti-huge corporation, but I think we need less of them. But mom and pop shops, like privately owned businesses, I think that's big. And if you, I think if there's a way they can give back to the community and keep something to stimulate the community or whatever, as far as economically, I think that's a good idea. Or
Your
just,
responsibility is to embrace the community.
yeah,
Right? Like, you can't control where you can afford to live.
yeah.
I will say that. Like, but if you're moving into like the luxury high rise in Harlem,
Yeah.
maybe think about your choices. But if you're like, I really can't afford to live anywhere else, and this is the neighborhood that, you know, can suit where I am going to live, then you absolutely need to pour yourself into that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go shop at the bodegas, learn this language that's also already
Oh man, I want to talk more about that one.
15 minutes with Isaiah.
Yes. 17 and a half
Okay, wait,
minutes.
my controversial opinion is...
No. You get this one.
Oh, okay. I was like, I want to say it.
No, not yet.
And now, that was 10 minutes with Maureen. That's me.
Turn it up.